Hey yo, what's up guys? I wanted to make a very important video about simping. Simping is something that, has become more of a popular notion over, the past few years. But simping is really important. Simping is something that's really prevalent and in empaths and people who come from broken homes. Pretty much where simping originates from some kind of void in your heart chakra, some kind of void within your past. It doesn't necessarily have to be your childhood. It could be any part of your life where you feel like it could be due to like an issue with a parent, it could be due to an issue with a family member, an issue with someone you really cared for. And it kind of mess with how you see um a specific kind of person. It could be the opposite sex, it could be the same sex, it could be anything. It doesn't even have to just be um a person. You can simp for anything. Simping is actually an addiction as well. You can simp for addictions, like you can simp for like alcohol, weed, cigarettes, anything where you just like where something has control over you and it weakens you. But with like the known simping, which is usually you simp for the opposite sex or like some kind of romantic interest, it often comes from parent issues, and it could come from being neglected and abused by like a mom or like a dad or something, to the point where you're so used to not being treated right by that parent, to the point where you're so obsessed with trying to make that person like you and everything like that. Or you could be so used to being that person's servant or just being their stepping stone that you're just so programmed to just serving that kind of person or that gender. It doesn't even have to be that gender. Sometimes it's just that gender, but sometimes it could be people who have similar characteristics. You're just kind of enslaved to that. Or it can also be where it doesn't necessarily have to be an abuse thing. It could be like, say like One Piece Sanji, for example. Like Sanji's simping comes from his mom being the only one who cared for him. That's why he's such a simp, because his mom cared so much about him and was the only one in his life as a child that actually loved him and was there for him. And his sister as well, even though his sister was still with the fuckery, like she was the only one after the mom passed, that would look after him sometimes and make sure he's okay. So that's the reason why he's such a simp for women, because he has so much love for them, because he saw how guys, that's why he's like so like harsh towards guys and so nice towards women, because guys always abused him and the women always looked after him. So that's kind of where that comes from. People don't understand that simping comes from some kind of past thing. It's something that you're not healed with, because ultimately in a healed person, you shouldn't care if someone is a man, a woman, this or that, whatever your romantic interest, your family member, your friend, or whatever. Anyone who tries to manipulate you and mess with you or do anything to you like that, they are no longer like a friend like that, like, or whatever. Because anyone who truly loves you would never try to put you in those situations. So pretty much not being a simp, like some people mistake being what like not being a simp is. People mistake that not being a simp is disrespecting the opposite sex or whatever. That's not what it is. It's seeing through the manipulation that they're trying to control and harm you, or they're trying to slow you down. Either they're trying to manipulate you to destroy you, or to mess with you, or trying to use you, or whatever. They're trying to mess with you. That's one thing. Or they can be trying to slow you down from your goals or what you're trying to do. It could be an innocent girl who really likes you and everything like that, and she wants to be in a relationship with you and everything like that. She's really sweet and everything like that, and you admire her, but you guys have two different paths you're walking on. You're trying to be this, but she just wants to have this steady life and all these different things. It's like, and that's what ends up like things are just not going to be right. Because if you guys get in a relationship, eventually the guy's going to want to leave. Either the guy's going to want to leave or the girl's going to want to leave. The reason why is because their lives don't add up. It wouldn't make sense. That's where you sometimes you get these relationships where you have these guys that end up just leaving, right? Like in like anime, there's so many guys who there's so many characters who dads aren't in the picture because like my dad like because the dad wanted to do something else. He wants to keep growing. He wants to keep experiencing life and everything like that. But the woman just wants to settle down, just live a sedentary lifestyle. You see, since he gave into temptation, now he had a baby with her, and now the baby's growing into this world. That comes from simping. You know, that's pretty much like what the simping thing is. So simping isn't not being in love or not wanting love or anything like that. It doesn't, that's not what it is. You can be in love. You can find a partner. It's about finding the right partner and not settling for someone who does not fit what you want for yourself. Someone who goes against the world that you're trying to create for yourself because they're going to slow you down from what you're trying to build for yourself. Because whatever you're trying to build for yourself, there is someone out there who can match that and they won't slow you down. They will instead help you become who you want to be and they will understand you. Someone who's simping, someone who you were simp for, it's like, cause I was a simp before. I'm not gonna lie, but not like really like a simp in that kind of way. I just more so was. There was times I was desperate for for um for companionship and everything like that, and I'm a very like I'm a very pure-hearted person, so for me to learn about life, I have to I have to learn about it from some things. So I didn't realize that people were the way they were. So for me, it took me a while to realize because I just thought people were just like shit. I thought they were like similar to me. Most people were just similar to me. It took me a long time to realize that even though my mom would say these things, like if you're a pure-hearted person, you would just like, oh, I love life. Oh, I love all these people. All these people are so beautiful. Oh, I love everything. Because you're innocent. You don't understand the realities of some people, how fucked up people can be. You don't understand that yet. So that's like for me, I guess I guess I was a simple, not really. I just really love life and I love people and I love giving people chances and stuff like that. And then when I give these people chances, um I would stand by because I'm loyal. So like I wouldn't like I would just and I have honor. So I would just stand in there and not give up on it. But I realized that it took me a while to realize that there's a lot of people out here just aren't good for you. They just don't have the same like kind of like um they don't have the same ethics and morals and the path that you're on. Like they're way different from you. So my mom tried telling me that when I was younger, but I just really didn't get it. And especially since it was hard for me to understand that because the way how your parents treat you, your parents don't, if your family treats you like shit, it kind of makes you to where, okay, these people are treating me like shit, and my parents are treating me like shit. I guess this is just a normal thing, right? It takes you a while because you're not seeing the real love for anyone. So you're getting confused. And you often think that, okay, I guess this is just what the normal thing is, but in reality that really isn't what the normal thing is. So that happens. But for me, when people were to start disrespecting me, I don't go for it. Like, yeah, I don't go for it. Once I feel threatened, a lot of people are like, because they mirror like my family. My family's really clever, so they would try to manipulate you in ways to where you still feel loved. They'll do the bare minimum, or they'll just like they'll snake around and do all these things to where it seems like they'll just like they're so clever with their manipulation skills to where they'll make you seem satisfied while they're tearing you apart. Like they'll try like it takes you time to understand. Okay, dude, they're fucking me over. You know, it takes you time to realize these things. But but yeah, so in a lot of situations, I'll still be going in these situations because they'll be doing all these fucking little tactics and I wouldn't even realize it. But, you know, not the point where I'm at, I just see it all for what it is, you know? But yes, really, simping is just when you don't value yourself. And when you just allow people to just do whatever and walk all over you just because they're a woman. Okay, they're a woman, so they can just fuck you up. They can treat you however they want to treat you. They can manipulate you. They can use you, abuse you. Women like that feel really entitled. And a lot of they use men who don't stand up for themselves. They look at that as like a easy thing, like a lick. Like they look at you as something that they can just manipulate. You're not gonna do anything about it. So they're like, okay, we can just treat him however we want to treat him. He's not gonna stand up for himself. He's not going to put us in our place. He's not gonna do anything like that. So we can just manipulate him. Oh, guys are really horny. So okay, I can just use my body to trick him and woo him and everything like that and finesse him. Like it's stuff like that. Or then you have like the more innocent kind of women who try to get a like either sometimes force a relationship on you or try to get you to have a relationship with them, but you guys just don't match like that. So it's pretty much knowing your worth and not allowing people to have their way with you. That's pretty much what not simping is. So if you find a woman and or just same thing applies for ladies and men because it's the same thing with ladies and men. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of ladies that simp. You know, I'm not gonna lie, my mom was a simp. You know, I've seen a lot of people simp. Simping comes from a void. It's not a guy thing. It's a void in you. It's a void. Like the more loving kind of person you are, the more prone you are to simping. Or simping kind of like or forms of simping. But yeah, when you find someone who really matches you and it just makes sense, you guys are both in the same terms and everything like that, yeah, go for it, go for it. Give them everything that you want to give them and build with them. But don't settle for someone who's going to just treat you any kind of way. And I've been through those things and it's in my music as well. So like I don't want you guys to go through those things. It's not worth it. All this sex stuff is not worth it. Like I would tell you guys, be celibate, be a virgin if you want to. If don't feel ashamed for it. I'm telling you right now, you know, if you're a virgin, that's an awesome thing. Don't get on people if they're not. Like I'm not. It's okay. But what I'm trying to say is don't go for the peer pressure. Don't feel like you have to do what everyone else is doing. When you're like a pure soul out here trying to figure out what to do and what's best for you, and there's not much guidance out here, you can often put yourself in situations that you could avoid it if the right person were to tell you what's good for you and what's not good for you. So I had to go through a lot of things because I didn't have guidance. So I had to figure out things um, day by day, and from mistake after mistake, I had to figure these things out on my own. So that's why I'm passing the knowledge to you guys so that you guys can create a better life for yourselves. And for me, like I'm completely fine. Like there's no like it's my mistakes aren't messing me up or anything like that. But it's just more so it's just better to avoid these things and just have the knowledge so you don't have to go through them because it's better. So that's why I'm just telling you guys these things. But you don't have to worry about me. It's like, oh, he went through that, blah, blah. I don't really mind it. I don't really care that much. But yeah. So just understand because I do feel like it can go down a dangerous route to where people think simping is treating the opposite sex like shit is not simping. Like no, that's not what it is. You should always respect people, but respect yourself and value your own life first. Respect yourself. Don't put yourself in situations where people are going to manipulate you and use you. There's a lot of broken people out here and people who are not healed. So they will pretend and act like they care about you and all these different things and promise you the world, but they're really just trying to take their problems out on you. Someone hurt them, someone manipulated them, someone used them, someone abused them. So they see you and they see how naive you are or whatever, or how sweet you are or whatever, and they become tempted to try to fuck with you and mess that up with you and to ruin your life. Because they feel like their life was ruined, so now they're trying to ruin your life. That's what simping is. Not simping is. Seeing through the traps. Seeing through the traps. Not letting people mess with your life. That's what not simping is. Because people who simp, every fucking woman they see or every man they see, they just want to go for him and just give him all this love and everything like that. But it's not worth it because these are people who may try to destroy you. You gotta, you know, you gotta know your worth and understand when it comes to relationships, everyone does not fit the person that you want to be with. Like you shouldn't, like, it's not attractive to date all these different people. It's not attractive at all. It's sloppy. Like, it's really sloppy. You want to just, and it shows how unhealed you are, and it shows how, like, how little care you have for yourself if you just keep putting yourself in all these different situations. There's more to life than just relationships and dating. There's so much more to life than that. You can figure yourself out. You can do so much in life, you know? Enjoy being alone. Being alone is not it's a temporary thing. Enjoy being by yourself. Learn yourself, get to know yourself. So as you get to know yourself, you know what kind of people you want in your life. If you don't know yourself, it's hard to know who fits your life because you don't know who you are. So if you don't know who you are, how the fuck are you going to know who is good for you and who's not good for you, right? So it's really important for you to take the time to understand yourself and work on yourself and understand that just because that person's the opposite sex of you does not mean that they are meant to be in your life. You need to be with someone who understands you, that understands the burdens you have, understand, situations you've been through. It's not about someone who looks like you. It's not about someone who thinks like you. It's about someone who can understand your life and build with you. Understand the life that you've been through, or want to understand the life that you've been through, and someone who understands the life or wants to understand the life that you're building for yourself and whose life resonates with that. And also you should be able to understand their life as well and understand the life that they want to build for themselves. It's an equal exchange relationship because you guys both want the same. You guys want someone, a partner who can understand each other's past and understand each other's futures. Well, understand each other's past, understand each other's present, and build the future together. That's pretty much what it is. Everyone doesn't fit that. It will happen naturally. You'll naturally come across the people that you're meant to be with. It will naturally happen. So everyone else, every other relationship is either a friend or they're a karmic. Anything you entertain, these quick relationships you get in and you get out, and you get in, you get out, you get in, you get out, it's a karmic relationship. It's not real. It's not, it's just you both are not healed and you have issues that you're not addressing, or that you're not working on by yourself. So now you're in a situation with someone else where you both are just reflecting aspects of yourself that are not healed so that you guys can grow. You guys may not mean to be in a relationship together. So you have to understand this relationship stuff is really tricky because you have to be healed in order to have a real romantic relationship. Because if you keep on growing and you're in this karmic relationship, eventually you're going to grow and you're going to realize, wow, I love this person at first, but now I don't really love them anymore. Or I don't love them the same way because I'm growing, so you have to understand that, like, us as empaths who love tremendously, you have to understand what should you do with that love. Just because you love someone doesn't mean you should fuck them. Just because you love someone doesn't mean you need to be in a romantic relationship with them. Sometimes it should just be platonic. Sometimes it's a relationship where you guys are just friends. There's nothing wrong with the friend zone. The friend zone is often better than relationships. You think you want a relationship. A lot of people think they want a relationship, but they just want a relationship with someone because they're afraid of being alone. And they feel like being in a relationship with someone, they feel like that means that you guys could be together forever. And that makes them feel less alone. That's why they want to, like, cage people in and everything like that. But to be completely honest, that's not really how it works. If you want to be in someone's life and you want to be in their life for a long time, friendships works better than romantic relationships, because if you guys are really good friends and your relationship adds up and your path lines together, then you guys can be in each other's lives for a long time. But you also have to understand this too, like, everyone's not meant to be in each other's lives forever. We grow. A lot of us are phases in each other's lives. We're in each other's life for a little bit, then we move on to the next phase because we're all growing and we're all on our own paths. And we all have different things we want to do. Everyone doesn't want to do the same thing. Everyone's not on the same path. So sometimes we come across people for a while, and then we move on to a different phase in life, and we come across new people, and then we come across new people, and new people, new people. That's how life is. Everyone's not meant to be in each other's life forever. So it's really important to understand that. So it's important to understand, okay, I have so much love for people, but what do I do with this love? You don't need to be in a romantic relationship with everyone. So many people, so many celebrities, female celebrities, a lot of female celebrities and male celebrities, like female celebrities that think they need to be in a romantic relationship with every man they see, and they end up being super alone because they don't work on themselves and because they date all these men that they could have just been friends with. But they date them and now they're sloppy and now everything's complicated because they keep fucking and dating all these guys that they could have just been friends with. Be friends. How the fuck are you dating someone when you just saw them? You just saw them. Like, how the fuck are you guys dating already? You don't even know each other. That is a bad thing. That's some trauma or some kind of like void in you or something. Because why are you dating someone so fast? You don't even know that person. Like, if someone like came up to me and was like, "Oh, let's date," I'd be like, "Fuck no." And I used to be like that as well. Like I used to think that you would date someone when you first like early on because that's what I thought that you were supposed to do because I saw so many other people do it. So I was thinking that, and that's how my family is too. But eventually I realized no, it makes no fucking sense. I don't even know this person because the more I started like just realizing things, the more I'm just like, dude, we don't even know each other like that. Like we really don't know each other at all. Like why can't we need to just understand each other and take time to know each other? These things come from experience. And same thing with guys. They end up ruining a lot of relationships with women because they think they need to fuck every woman that they're around. That's just gonna mess up your relationships. That make you weaker. Relationships make you a strong person. If you're able to maintain a lot of relationships and know a lot of people, that can make you very powerful. Relationships is the most powerful thing you can have. But by gaining so many relationships, you have to master yourself because every relationship you have is a reflection of yourself. So you're only friends with these people because you both can resonate with each other on a certain wavelength, on a certain aspect of life. That's why you guys are in each other's lives. That's why you understand each other because you can understand each other in certain aspects. That's why you're in each other's lives, right? So if you're fucking all these people, all you're gonna do is just make things complicated. You're gonna make people bitter. You're gonna make people jealous because you're fucking people who are not meant to be in your life romantically, right? So now you're building up this karma. You're building up negativity, and you're creating enemies for yourself because you're fucking people who you don't want to be in a relationship with. The girl may not care, but say the girl may not care, but say a guy who really liked her and actually had love for her and actually supposed to be in her life, you're fucking this girl and you're just treating her any kind of way. You think he just doesn't care? No, that's gonna bring up bitterness within him. Now, if you actually care about the girl, you guys, like I said, like in the past, like, um, earlier, like, you just don't know how to love or whatever. Like, you just don't know what kind of love they give to the person, and you guys, do whatever. That happens. But I'm talking about people who just, okay, I don't care about you. I just want to fuck you. We're friends, whatever. Let's just have sex and this and that. That ruins your relationships. Like for me, like that's why I don't see anybody that I want a relationship with because no one matches with what I want. So that's why I'm the celibate because I don't I want to whoever I have sex with, I want to have children with. So I'm not, and I don't want to have sex with anyone until like I'm in like a married state. Some kind of married state, right? Some kind of like strong commitment, right? So I'm not willing to have sex with anybody at all, anyone. Um, I'm far too young for it anyway. I had sex enough for my life. I had sex with like what I think like 5 people at least, 5 different people. I haven't had sex in almost like 3 years. I'm fine. I'd rather masturbate. It's fine to me. Um, but yeah, like I'm telling you, like it's you're a very powerful person if you have discipline. Discipline is a very important thing. Most people don't have discipline. You need discipline. Okay, cool, you're this singer, you're this entertainer. Okay, all these women love you. But do you know what makes you more powerful than just fucking them all? It makes you more powerful if you respect them and honor them and tell them to respect and honor themselves, and you help educate them and help remind them of who they should be and how they should be treated, and help them remind them that they deserve to have an ideal love and that they should lock that shit up. They shouldn't just be throwing their bodies all over the fucking place. Like they should lock that shit up for who they're supposed to be with and just wait and value their lives and value their chastity, value themselves and value others. You know, all this bitterness, all this playboy, playgirl shit, all of it comes from it's just an endless cycle of you guys just constantly doing all this bullshit and not healing yourselves. That's all it stems from. You guys just ultimately want someone who loves and understands you and everything like that. But in the meantime, you're just taking your issues out on others and fucking with others and all these different kind of things out of bitterness and all these different kind of things. It's really petty. It's super fucking petty. It's gross. It's disgusting. I don't like it at all. It's nasty. I'm not into hoes. It's gross. I'm not into that shit at all. You know? Be a hoe for your person. But don't be a hoe for all these people, because like to me it's just disgusting, because it just shows me that you don't value yourself. Why are you trying to show yourself off to all these different people? And I don't mean like modeling and embracing yourself and what's the word, expressing yourself, being, I sometimes I don't like wearing clothes and shit. That's completely fine. But what I'm talking about is just like being around all these people and you're trying to act like you're trying to, like, you know, you're sexualizing yourself with these people and you're just passing your body around to all these people. Like, that's disgusting, and it's disrespectful for yourself, and it's disrespectful for whoever you want to be in a relationship in the future, because you're supposed to really honor yourself. It's okay to make mistakes and everything like that, but it's really important to honor and respect yourself. It really is. At some point, you have to get to that. You have to get to that point at one point. Everyone gets to it at their own pace, and you make mistakes along the way. If you don't have the guidance for it, but it's really important to honor yourself and respect yourself. Sex is just one aspect of life. There's so much to life than just sex. It's so much to life. It's just one thing, you know? You don't need sex to live life and everything like that. There's so many different pleasures that life has, and a lot of pleasures that can help you grow and everything like that and discipline you. But yeah, I think it's really important to honor yourself and honor each other and not be greedy. You know, there's so many different women out here. Do you really need all these women over you and everything like that? Do you really need to have sex with all these women? Do you need to really be women too? Let me check women, like women, like, okay, I have I'm in this friend group and I love my girls and everything like that. Oh, one of my girlfriends has a guy that likes her, or whatever, he likes, whatever, they're talking, or whatever. Oh, so now I'm alone and everything like that. So now I'm gonna try to entertain him and everything. That's so fucked up. Like, why can't people just be happy for each other and just respect each other's boundaries? You know, that's just going to add bad karma to yourself, to where you getting in a relationship is going to be delayed because you're not healed and you're trying to mess with someone else's lives. Like, why not just do what's best for yourself and be good to people and honor people and be respectful towards people? You don't need to fuck everything you see. You need discipline. It's disgusting. It's really fucking gross. Like, I find it to be gross, you know, because honestly, in the past, like, a lot of you guys know it's gross. Like, for me, I didn't even fucking know. Like, I grew up, porn was just, like, thrown around and shit, and I just, like, family stuff like that I didn't know, but, like, I just kept coming across all this shit. Like, people just kept showing me all this stuff and saying all these things to me, so I didn't know this stuff was like bad and not good for you until, like, I realized that as I got older. I'm like, nah, this isn't really what you're supposed to be doing. It was just thrown in my way. You know, if I had the guidance, like, someone, like, if I had like an older brother or something like that, and like, man, like, no, don't do that shit, I would not do that shit. Like, for my brother, like, I used to tell my brother, bro, stay away from these girls, bro. They're not like work on yourself. Like, it's not worth it. You know, I wish I had a brother like that, but I didn't, because I was my own, brother. But I had to learn things on my own. But so yeah, I don't really remember much of the experiences I had in the past. No offense to anybody, but it just wasn't really. We're not in a relationship. I'd rather do that stuff with someone I'm in a relationship with. It's more meaningful. And I always felt super uncomfortable anyway, because I always felt in the back of my head like, this is someone that you're supposed to have a child with. This is someone you're supposed to really love. Like, this is someone you're supposed to honor, and they're supposed to honor you. But we're just doing this for pleasure. We're not really doing this because we love each other. Like, we're supposed to have sex because we love each other, not because we just want to use each other's bodies and stuff like that. That always just turned me off. Like, it just never sat right with me. That's why I'm a demisexual. Like, that stuff is weird. You're supposed to do that with someone that you want to have a child with and raise a family with and honor. Like, it's a very sacred thing. Like, but we're in a world where sex is just so prevalent and everything like that. Everything's just so over sexualized, you know? So that's why I like to say these things to help people understand these things, because so you don't fall into the traps like I have. But yeah, honor and respect each other, you know? Like I can easily have sex with most people's women, right? Easily, because of who I am. But does that mean that I should do that? No. Just because you have power, does that mean that you should use that power? It's all about discretion. You know what I mean? I can be super petty. I'll be honest. But that's not who I am. That's not who I am as a person. That's really not who I am. I know I make songs and stuff like that, but literally, like, a lot of it's just like a lot of songs I made in the past were just saying stuff that wasn't really me, but making songs about it because it was just like interesting being able to like say things that wasn't really how I was as a person. It's just really interesting to express these things, these different aspects, and make songs in different perspectives. Because it's interesting. Because when you live life a certain way, like with me, like I'm sheltered from a lot of stuff because I'm pure hearted, so I'm sheltered from a lot of stuff. So hearing about different stories and seeing different perspectives, it's interesting. It intrigues you, you know? Like, I remember there was a time where, like, so many guys, they were doing Xanax and stuff like that. And at the time, I was like, because I was down bad. Shit was happening. And I was like, you know what? I'll try some. They would not let me do that. They would not let me do that shit. They would not let me do that shit. I'm too sheltered from stuff. Like, I can't do certain things. But yeah, I appreciate them for that. I remember there was a time with my friend. I remember, like, she was like more on the hoey side, but when she realized that like I wasn't like that, she would not entertain. Like, a lot of my female friends, I really appreciate you guys, because they can tell when I was starting to like be kind of like brainwashed a little bit, to where I'll just start entertaining things. Like, I'll be curious because they can see, because I feel like they kind of viewed me as like a baby. Like, at certain situations, they saw how precious and sweet and innocent I was. So certain things I'll see them talk about and all these different things, and see them do these things, and sometimes I'll be like, "Why?" Like, "Ooh, I'm curious. I'll do that. I'll do that." But they just be shutting it down. Like, I never force anything, but sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, like this or that." What, like, they would not. I remember one time, cause like a lot of them thought like I was just like the regular guy, like a regular guy who's just like horny all the time, and just fucks everything and whatever, and doesn't really care. But they realize how precious I am, and they shield me from that stuff. And that's something that, like, now that like I'm a little more mature, yeah, that's something that those kind of like real women do. Like, even the women that are like, they're going through like tough times, or not on the right path, they shield you from that kind of stuff. If they see you're someone who's more on the innocent side, they don't want you to go through that stuff. They don't want you to go through the stuff they're going through. I used to be like, oh, is it because I'm like ugly or this or that or whatever? Like, I used to be so confused. But no, it's because they don't want me to go down that path, because that's not something for me. And I just didn't really understand, because I was so naive. And I never really had guidance. Like, family doesn't really talk to me about anything. So they hide everything. The only thing they talk about is how much pain they're in, or how sad they are, or whatever they've been through. They never talk to me about anything real, like any advice I need or anything like that. They never guide me. So like, a lot of things I had to figure out on myself, on my own. So sometimes I had a lot of female friends. Sometimes I'll wonder, why? Like, cause I always just wanted a partner, but I would often find some people that were just not ideal for me, but I enjoyed their company. And I would often wonder why we have so much fun together. Why do we not, like, why can't we be in a relationship or anything like that? But a lot of times it was because, like I was saying before, our paths are just not right. Like, they're on something else and I'm on something else. Like, they're just like, we understand each other in a way where we could be friends and acquaintances, but not to the point where we can be romantic, because we're not on the same thing. Like, they're more on this like tried path, and I'm more on this like on this more like pure path. Like yeah, like there's things I still go through, but I don't really entertain all like the sorrow and the decay and all these different kind of things and all these negative things, like these toxic things. I don't really entertain those things. But yeah, shouts out to all of them. I don't want to say anyone's name, but shout out to everybody. Like I really appreciate you guys so much. You guys are so awesome. For looking out for me and everything like that. I really appreciate you all. A lot of guys too, like everyone who just looked out for me. Some people peer pressured me. Usually the women that peer pressure me. Some women I got, usually the ones that I was romantically interested in. Some of them did. Some of them didn't. Some people did. Some people didn't. But a lot of the ones that I really rocked with didn't. They were really cool. But a lot of that was just like a reflection of like my family. But the more I matured, the better people I attracted. The more I just realized what's good for me, what's not. But yeah, I really care about you all, and I just want the best for you all. And I'm learning life day by day. I'm figuring this stuff out myself. I'm improving life just like everyone else. We don't really understand these things. We're just going day by day. So that's why like I'm doing my best to just make these videos for you guys so you guys can have the guys that you need so that you can become who you're supposed to be and who you want to be. So yeah, but understand simping isn't about disrespecting anybody or anything like that. It's about respecting and honoring yourself. Just because that's a man doesn't mean that you can't stand up for yourself. Just because that's a woman doesn't mean you can't stand up for yourself. Don't tolerate anyone manipulating you. Don't tolerate anyone abusing you. Don't tolerate anyone trying to hold you back from who you want to be. Don't fall for any of that shit. Value and honor yourself, because whoever loves you, truly loves you, want to be in a relationship with you, they would never try to hold you back. They would rather let you go and say you're too good for me, or we can just be friends, rather than them try to tie you down to a relationship where they're dragging you down. And that's facts. So I just want to say that I love you guys. I really honor and appreciate you all. I hope you all are well. Hope you all are happy, healthy, abundant, prosperous, safe. Take care, be good, and honor the people that's in your life, and really value them and appreciate them and love them and be there for them and protect them and help them become who they want to be in life. So yeah, and really honor yourself. Don't let anyone just do anything to you. It's not right. You're a really special person, so you have to realize this. You have to take the time to understand yourself and love yourself and appreciate yourself so that you can get to that point. Don't let anyone just talk to you and treat you any kind of way. A lot of people don't love and honor themselves, so they're going to put that on you and treat you like scum, or say you're not worth this, or you're not shit, or you're whatever. That's just a reflection of themselves. Don't fall for those traps. They're just projecting their own insecurities upon you. Take time to understand yourself and know yourself before people tell you who you are. Know yourself. Feel secure within yourself before people tell you who you are. Whatever they say that that's not true, that's just them. Feel sad about those things. Feel sad, but don't feel sad about what they're saying to you, as like how you don't feel sad to the point where you're sad about yourself because of those things. Feel sad about them, because it's not you who they're talking about. They're talking about themselves. So understand these things. Understand they're just talking about themselves, and they don't know how to take accountability for their own mistakes or their own faults or their own life. So they're putting it on you. They're projecting their own insecurities upon you because they don't want to take accountability for their own issues. So understand these things. But yeah, take care. Love you all. Be good.